Hello and welcome. I'm Ashley, and today we're talking the best of 2020, which does sound like an oxymoron, doesn't it? We're 3 weeks into 2021 and it's already been quite the journey. I finally sat down yesterday and I went through all of my makeup and I picked my favorite products from 2020. The criteria I used was that I decided that for something to be eligible to win Best of 2020, in my book, it had to be a product that I tried for the first time in 2020. So some of these products may not necessarily be products that were first released in 2020. They may just be things that I tried for the first time in 2020. Everything in this video is high end. I will have a best dupes of 2020 video coming up in the next week or two. So be on the lookout for that if you want some of my drugstore recommendations. We're gonna go in order from base all the way to setting spray. I'll go step by step and I will also show you footage of me applying the makeup because everything I mentioned today is on my face right now. So we're gonna start out with my priming products. So the first is my favorite lip balm of the year. It is the Kush Lip Balm from Milk Makeup. I love the shade Nug. I discovered this lip balm actually towards the end of the year and I'm absolutely in love with it. I've actually already gone through one, which is crazy for me. I am in love with this. It's really hydrating. It feels really nice on my lips and I like that it's not too heavy. So I can apply it at the beginning of my makeup routine, leave it on my lips, and I don't feel like I have to wipe it off before I put on my lipstick. It sits beautifully under my lipstick. It doesn't smudge it, doesn't make it run or anything like that. So I really enjoy this lip balm, and if I could only take one lip balm from 2020 that I tried in 2020 with me to 2021, how many times am I gonna say numbers? I need to stop. If I could only take one, it would be this one. Now for prepping my skin, I have really gotten into a routine where I like to go serum, moisturizer, and then sometimes put a primer in the middle of my face to fill in my pores. So my favorite serum for before makeup application this year has been the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Refining Serum. I did not trust this at first because anytime something says like glass skin or anytime it has like a very ambitious name, I'm a little bit wary and kind of skeptical. I just am a skeptical person, to be honest. So I was not really expecting that this would do much, but I immediately noticed when I put this on the very first time that it did smooth out some of the texture, especially right here in this area across the nose. I do tend to have some texture there just because my skin is more on the dry side and also it has the first signs of aging. So I really need a little bit of help with texture wherever I can get it. It also plumps my skin up a little bit and helps me look a little more like luminous and hydrated than I might normally without it. So I have really enjoyed having this as like a skincare step in my makeup routine. Next is my favorite moisturizer to wear under makeup. The best one that I tried in 2020. I just reordered this because it ran out today as I was putting it on for this video. It is the Renee Rouleau Glow Enhancing Cream. I absolutely love this moisturizer. If you're someone like me who has drier skin and you tend to like moisturizers that have a little bit of body to them, a little bit of richness, this is a really great one. It's rich and it has a good bit of body to it, but it's still light enough that it wears really beautifully under makeup, and it definitely does enhance your glow. There's some, I don't want to say like iridescent qualities to it, but there's some luminous properties just to the moisturizer itself to help your skin reflect light. Next up is primer. Because I only could pick one, I decided that I was gonna pick a pore filling primer because that's really the one thing that like I can't use a moisturizer to stand in for, you know? I can use a moisturizer and that usually preps my skin well enough on the dryness side, but I do sometimes need additional help with pore filling just because I do sometimes have quite enlarged pores along my nose area, across the nose. And my favorite pore filling primer is the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas. This came out early last year, early 2020 it came out, and I immediately fell in love. I had liked the original silk canvas, but I didn't like that I had to like dig into it, and it was like, I just didn't like the function of actually getting the product out. So then putting it in a liquid form was just perfect for me, perfect for me. It's really lovely. It does fill in your pores. It's not silicone based, but it has the properties that I love out of a silicone primer, but obviously don't want to be putting silicone on my face. So I appreciate it for that. And this is my favorite primer of 2020. Next up is foundation. This was hard for me, but again, I had to think of it from the perspective of if I could only carry one foundation with me that I tried last year into this year, which one would it be? And when I put it that way, it actually wasn't that hard. If I could really only use one foundation from last year, all this year, it would be the Estee Lauder Futurist Hidra Rescue Foundation. I wear the shade 2N1 Desert Beige. This foundation is just, it's everything I love in a foundation. Medium coverage, lightweight, hydrating. It looks like a nice dewy luminous finish, but it's very skin-like. I absolutely love the shade range for Estee Lauder as well. I can always find a great match there, and they do have a really good shade range, so I appreciate that aspect of it as well. My favorite way to apply this foundation is to just dot it all over the face and then buff it in with the foundation brush. That's the method I use if I'm gonna do a full face of makeup like I did today. But if I'm just gonna like be on the go and I don't really wanna wear that much makeup that day, but maybe I wanna even out my skin tone and throw on some gloss and a little bit of blush, I'll put this on with my fingers and it works beautifully. So I appreciate that it's versatile enough that I can use it with a full face of makeup. I can use it on a very light day. I can build the coverage up. I can make it very lightweight if I just go in with a tiny bit. It's a really good, like, just all-purpose foundation, and I have found myself reaching for it a lot in the winter. I originally tried it in the summer. I loved it in the summer. I love it in the winter. So now that I know that it's like an all-season foundation, this is the one. This is the one I would use. You can see my complexion. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's natural. I love this foundation. It's a very popular one, so probably not anything revolutionary here, but if you haven't tried it yet and you are like me, you have drier skin, you like medium coverage, lightweight, you don't like to feel your makeup on your skin, this is a good one. That's something I should mention for foundation. I cannot stand to feel foundation on my face. After it's, you know, blended in, I don't want to feel that it's there. If I can feel it's there, I go nuts. I go nuts. I want to wash my face. I don't like to feel like I'm wearing makeup. I like things that feel lightweight and natural on the skin to me, like to my nerve endings. I don't want to be sitting there feeling like, oh my God, it feels like I have a mask on. No, thank you. No, thank you. So the best concealer I tried last year, I originally had a different one picked, but here's what happened. Like everyone, my skin gets a bit drier in the winter because the air is drier most places. I live on the East Coast, so in the summer we generally have quite a bit of humidity, and in winter when that goes away, I notice a difference in pretty much everything, honestly, but especially in my skin, and there is no part of my face that is drier than my under eyes. So I had a concealer picked out, and I absolutely love that concealer, and I was like ready for it to be my best of 2020. I had thought that for a couple months now, actually, that it would be my best of 2020. However, the last couple weeks, as it's been pretty cold, we've had the heat on and the air is just really dry, I've noticed that that concealer has been drying out on me throughout the day. It starts out fine, and then later on in the day, I've not changed anything else about my routine. So I know that it's just the concealer is not holding up to the drier atmosphere. So I had to go back to the drawing board and see which concealer is gonna hold up in the winter, which one is the one that I would carry with me now that I know that that other concealer just doesn't cut it for winter. And the answer is the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. I wear the shade L2. Wearing this today, absolutely love this concealer. Number one, if you heard me talk about it before, it blends like a dream. I have never had a concealer that blends this seamlessly into bare skin, into foundation. It just blends in so beautifully. It's lovely and creamy. It doesn't crease up on me. It doesn't dry out on me. It looks beautiful from the moment I put it on into the moment I take it off, and I never feel dry under my eyes. Again, I care about how things look 100%. I'm not gonna pretend I don't, but I don't care how good something looks if it doesn't feel comfortable on my face. And again, if you're someone with dry skin, I'm probably just preaching to the choir, because you know, if something feels dry on you, it's just tight, it's uncomfortable, it can get itchy because it's just drying you out like crazy. Like, I have to be comfortable in my makeup. I have to be comfortable, period. I am high maintenance in the sense that I want to be comfortable at all times. I want to live my life without any discomfort. So I'm certainly not gonna take any discomfort from a concealer. This concealer was such a find for me. I know so many people have been using this for quite a while now. I was a late bloomer to Pat McGrath, but I am on board now. And also, I just wanna point out, the color match for my under eyes is absolutely perfect. And it blends out so lovely that it never looks like I've, gone in. I love the triangle effect under my eyes. And what I really appreciate about this is that I can do that and I don't look unnatural or garish or, like I baked my under eyes. It's just so good that it lightens everything up under my eyes while still blending out and making everything look really nice and melded together. Next up, I'm gonna talk about contour. My favorite contour this year, I went back and forth. I was like, should I do a contour? Should I do a bronzer? I could not decide for the life of me. I lost my favorite bronzer, so I don't have it today. My favorite bronzer would be the Hourglass one from the Sculpture Unlocked. I will put a picture of it on the screen. I cannot find that palette right now. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it got lost traveling back from Christmas with my parents or what, but so just know that even though I can't find it, that was my favorite bronzer of the year. I'm also kind of annoyed with Hourglass right now, so it's probably for the best that it's lost, but I'll still link it below. It's really, really beautiful. But instead of talking about the bronzer today, I'm gonna talk about my favorite contour product. My favorite contour product this year is one that I tried for the first time last March. And it was something that I tried when I was looking into clean beauty for a moment and then realized there's a lot of issues going on over there. But anyway, so I was looking into clean beauty for a hot minute back last March, and I tried the brand Westman Atelier. And my favorite thing that I found from that brand is their Face Trace Contour Stick. I have the shade Biscuit. This is such a creamy, beautiful contour stick. I love this. It blends out like a dream. The color is the perfect contour shade for me. It looks like a literal natural shadow. I absolutely adore it. This is just the perfect contour shade for me. If you are someone who is as light as I am and you run quite neutral in skin tone like I do, I guess technically I'd be a cool, but I'm what's called a soft summer. All you need to know really about that is that it means that I am like the most neutral, cool toned skin tone that there is. I really can kind of go both ways. And for me, the closer I can get a product shade to being neutral, the better, the more natural it is going to look on me. So I love this because it is quite neutral, and really the only undertone there is just that little tiniest hint of gray to make it look like a shadow, but not make it look ashy on someone who is as light as I am. Because if something's too gray, it will look ashy on me. I will straight up look like a ghost. It has happened. It happened to me when I tried the Rare Beauty foundation. I tried so many shades of that foundation, and every single one that was supposedly neutral looked gray on me. Like I looked like Voldemort. I looked like Voldemort. And yes, I'm saying it with the T. Don't judge me. Anyone who doesn't know Harry Potter is gonna be like, what do you mean you're saying it with the T? What's going on? But if you know Harry Potter, you know what I'm saying, and you get me. You don't have to like Harry Potter to be my friend, but it definitely makes me funnier if you do. Next up, let's talk eyeshadow. This was hard. I had so many eyeshadow palettes that I really, really liked in 2020. There were so many single shades that I really adored, but when I posed the question, what would I take with me if I could only take one? It was actually pretty easy. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Fire Rose Luxury Palette. This quad is amazing. I tried this in a first impressions. I will link it above and in the description box if you haven't seen that first impressions video yet, because that first impressions video was actually full of really great products. So many products that I just absolutely adored. So I will definitely link that. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. And in that video, I go in depth about how gorgeous and creamy these shades in this palette are. All of the shimmery ones literally apply like a cream shadow. I am someone who absolutely adores cream shadows because I love that, to me, they blend out more naturally and diffused than any powder shadow. That's what I love about cream eyeshadows. These apply like a cream eyeshadow. They blend out, I mean, they're on my eyes right now. You can see they just blend out and diffuse so lovely. They also have the same light reflectiveness that usually you can only get with a cream shadow. It's, you know, the amount of finely milled shimmer that are in these eyeshadows is just insane. I forgot my brows. I've talked about these two brow products. These are the two brow products I use in basically every single video. The brow pencil I use is the Dior Show Brow Styler. I use the shade Blonde. The shade is perfect. It's a nice neutral, not too ashy, definitely does not run warm. I've had questions about the color of this. This to me is the perfect brow shade. It's very neutral, not too ashy, not too warm, and I love how skinny the tip is. It can literally mimic actual hair strokes, and I really appreciate that. It fills in beautifully, and if I mess up, I can literally just keep brushing and it'll just, you know, smudge out, and I can make a mistake with it and easily fix it. So this was such a good find in 2020. I got this back at the beginning of the year. I want to say around March last year, February or March. And I didn't really even want to try any other brow products, any other brow pencils all year, because I just love this one so much. And it's now like my holy grail brow pencil. For brow gel, again, a new holy grail that I found in 2020 is the 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. It is a clear brow gel. It holds your brows in place. I love that the brush has two different sides. There is like a short bristle side and a longer bristle side that you can use. I tend to use like the short one here at the front where I want to work my brow hairs up, and then I use the longer side out here to kind of just lay them flat and get them to do the shape that I want them to do. It holds really well, which is good. If I have very like wiry, kind of like they like to like go wherever brow hairs, this holds them down and it's not crunchy at all. I have tried to find a dupe for this so long. I've tried every drugstore eyebrow gel that I can find, every clear gel I can think of. None of them are like this. They either don't hold or they make my brows feel crunchy, and that's a non-starter for me. So this is the best brow gel in my opinion. I love it. I just really briefly want to touch on mascara. I have lash extensions. I swear by them. I will probably never change. But for my lower lashes, I do put on mascara, and my absolute favorite is the Lancome Definicils. I will link it down below, and I'm only touching on it just in case you too are someone who has lash extensions and, you know, maybe you're interested in a lower lash mascara. This is the best one in my opinion for anyone who has lash extensions because it is water-based and it doesn't smudge. It's very hard to find water-based mascaras that do not smudge, and it's definitely best to use a water-based mascara if you are someone who has lash extensions. Even though it's only going on your lower lashes are still going to touch your top lashes, and you don't want an oil-based mascara rubbing off on your eyelash extensions because it will shorten their lifespan. So this is my mascara. I would say it's my favorite. I guess it is my favorite, but I only use it for my lower lashes. So just a like honorable mention because I use it every day. So I think it deserves its due. Moving on to cheeks, my favorite blush this year. This was hard. This was really hard, but again, if I could only keep one that I tried this year, it would be the Fenty Cheeks Out Cream Blush in Fenty Glow. I just love how versatile this shade is. One, I love the Fenty Cream Blush formula. That was something that did come out last year, and I was instantly in love. It's a great formula. It looks so beautiful on the skin. It sits so nicely. It doesn't cling to any kind of like dry patches or texture. It blends out very nicely, and the shade range, they just have such lovely shades that are very universally flattering. Fenty does an amazing job of that. Fenty Glow, this is a shade I was not really expecting to love as much as I do, but dang if I don't love it. This is like a tawny neutral rose shade. I realized quite quickly when I got this that I didn't have anything else this shade. And what I love is it just gives a very natural, like glowing flush. It doesn't make my cheeks look rosy or anything like that. It just adds some color in. It's very neutral, and I really like that. My favorite powder, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't try this until 2020. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. I wear the shade Fair 1. I love this powder. It is so wonderful. I use it to set my under eye concealer. It helps prevent creasing. It doesn't dry out under there. And I also use it to lightly set the rest of my face. Again, it's a very comfortable powder. I'm very careful to lightly set. My favorite setting brush for powder is this one from Sephora. It is the Pro Flawless Light Powder Brush number 50. What I love about this is I can lightly tap the powder in to the skin, and the bristles, they're dense, but they're still loose enough that the color doesn't like get packed on too hard. It just lightly sets on the skin. So this is my favorite brush to use this with, and I really cannot say enough good things about this powder. It just sets the skin so beautifully. There is a nice blurring effect, and again, I appreciate that it doesn't ever dry me out. For highlighter, I immediately knew it was gonna be another Charlotte Tilbury product. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand. This shade is so beautiful. I describe it as like a rosy champagne shade. It looks perfect on my skin tone. It is the perfect like super glow highlighter. And I love that even though this is a liquid highlighter formula, it comes out on a sponge. Even though it is a liquid highlight, I can put it on top of a powder and it blends out perfectly into the powder. It doesn't move things around. It doesn't pick up the products that are underneath it and remove them. It sits beautifully on top of other products, be those products liquids, creams, or powders. For example, today I have on a liquid foundation, then a cream blush, and then put on a powder, and then put on the highlighter, and still look just glowing cheeks. I just love it. I get so many compliments on my glow when I have this on. It's beautiful. I don't know what else to say. It's beautiful. My favorite way to blend it out is just by tapping it in repeatedly with a setting brush from Real Techniques. This is the number 202. Absolutely love this brush. All right, we're down to the final 3 products. Oh, actually 4. But we're down to lips and setting spray. So for lips, I decided I wanted to share a lip liner, a lipstick, and a lip gloss. And each of these are, I picked my favorite colors right now, but more than just the colors, I also love the formulas. So everything I'm sharing now, these are, I own multiple colors of them. I'm gonna show you my favorite, my current favorite color, but these made the list because the formulas are so good. So for lip liner, I picked the Victoria Beckham Lip Definer Crayon. The shade I'm putting on today is number 3, which is my favorite shade. It's just a perfect neutral nude kind of shade for me to wear under whatever lipstick I'm wearing. If I'm wearing anything in like the quote unquote nude family, this is the lip liner that I will reach for. This formula is amazing. It is so creamy. I have never used a lip pencil that was simultaneously so buttery, but also actually stays where you put it. This does not smudge, it does not feather, it does not move around, but putting it on is literally like just like, it's like a stick of butter. A stick of butter. It is perfect. It is flawless. I tried so many Victoria Beckham beauty products last year. I loved every single one that I tried, but this one was definitely the best lip liner out of the whole bunch of lip liners. And let me tell you what, I've got a lot of lip liners, so this is a very prestigious award. My favorite lipstick, you guys, this was hard. This was hard. Originally, I was looking at it from the perspective of, okay, what was my favorite lip color of the year? And that's just impossible because it changes season to season. So then I thought, okay, which formula was the best? And it kind of dawned on me that every new season last year, I would look for this specific formula. I would look for new colors in it. I was like, okay, well, now I need some fall colors in this lipstick, and now I need some winter colors in this lipstick. And the formula I'm speaking of is the Tom Ford lip color. Expensive? Oh yes. Oh, crazy expensive. 100%. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous how much I am willing to spend on these lipsticks. I know that. I know that, but I don't care. Love isn't rational. It's not. This formula is perfect to me. There's nothing I would change about it. It glides on so creamy, and the finish is a beautiful, true satin. It's just so comfortable, so natural, just that hint of like a natural little bit of shine. It is gorgeous, and every single shade that I have tried, I have loved. My current favorite shade is the Indian Rose 04. This shade is so beautiful. I feel like it's going to be like my go-to shade for years to come. I just got this over Christmas, and I just want to keep reaching for it and reaching for it and reaching for it because it's so lovely and flattering, and it's just a really great rosy tone for my skin tone. So if you have a skin tone like mine, I highly suggest trying this shade out. If you're interested in getting one of the Tom Ford lipsticks, this is where I would start, because this to me is like, of all the shades I've tried so far, this is really truly my current favorite. All right, the last lip product is, of course, lip gloss. I don't always wear lip gloss. In fact, with the Tom Ford lip colors, I find that I'm quite content to not wear a lip gloss, but sometimes I do like to throw one on. And again, it was hard to come up with which lip gloss was my favorite because I tried so many this year, and there were some real winners. I really liked the ColourPop one from Raw Beauty Christie's collection, and that might have won out if not for the fact that it was like, well, it is limited edition, and what I love most about that is really the shade, not the actual formula. So that was a runner-up. I will give it its credit, but my favorite lip gloss of 2020 was the Givenchy Les Roses Perfecto Liquid Balm. This is Solar Pink that I'm wearing today. I do own a few shades of this, and truly what I love is the formula. This is the perfect combination between a lip gloss and a lip balm. It's got some weight to it, so it doesn't slip around. It never sticks together. It never bleeds. It never ends up on my teeth. It's just very comfortable, and I love the shade range. They're sheer enough that you can wear them over most lip colors. Like this one, Solar Pink, I can wear over anything from coral to a true nude to a rose. I can wear this over 9 out of 10 lipsticks that I would wear. And it just gives my lips a very nice, like, wet look without running or sticking. Last but not least, my favorite setting spray of 2020. I went into 2020 not wanting to try any setting sprays because I absolutely swear by the Cover FX setting spray, but I'm glad that I was persuaded to try some new ones, and my absolute favorite of the ones that I tried is the Rare Beauty 4-in-1 Always an Optimist. This is such a great multi-purpose spray. I sometimes use this at the beginning before I put on a moisturizer. I like to use it definitely at the end. I sometimes use it on a damp beauty blender. I spray a little bit on there just to like set my powder under my eyes. If I have a little bit of dryness going on, I can use it for that to just kind of help revive that area. It's really great multi-use spray. It's like if Fix Plus actually had a good mister. Like if you love Fix Plus, but you hate the mister on Fix Plus because it can be quite uneven sometimes, and sometimes there's just way too big droplets that come out of it, this is the product for you to try. This has such a nice fine mist. Hopefully it'll show you. Woo, so fine. I absolutely love it. All right, that rounds out the best makeup of 2020, my 2020 favorites. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite product that you tried in 2020? And with that, I hope to never ever again have to say the words 2020 in reference to a year. From now on, 2020 is only about the television show that sometimes investigates murders. I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, you take care of yourself. Bye.